Hello everyone. Um, Michael, can you hear me, Lukman? Good afternoon. All right. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's workshop. Um, our speaker for today is Lukman. Right. Lukman is a back-end engineer. He wears many hats, so to speak. He's also a cloud engineer when it needs to be. Right. He's going to be speaking on the topic of cloud infrastructure provisioning using Terraform. Right. Yeah. So Lukman, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Olainka. Okay, yeah. So, basically today we are going to be delving deep into Terraform. Okay, so Olainka, if I'm having like any issue, you can actually let me know in the private chats too. Okay, let me share my camera. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. So let me quickly present my screen and okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. So basically, the topic for today is just provisioning infrastructure with Terraform. So, but before I proceed, I'm not sure I can. So I just want to know. Okay, what's not everyone actually might find this what do you call it, because developers actually it's learning new things actually, because you have all these what do you call it, all these things to learn, all these things. If you check roadmap.sh, you have all these list of things to learn. So now you've seen another new thing and then feel like, oh, do I need to learn this again before I actually embark become like the world class developer I want to become? So but for this session is just going to be like very simplified approach to working with Terraform. So Terraform is actually a robust tool for engineers in general, not only DevOps engineer. So the use case for today, I actually split it into two. Uh, okay, so I think because of time, I'll just be able to kind of work on the first approach. So with Vercel. So I meant to work on AWS too, but because of time, I might not be able to touch that for now. But I will definitely drop that in the article I'll be dropping next. So yeah. So about me, generally, I'm Lukman Absalam. So I do software, robotics, and blockchain. These are what I do. Yeah. So, but overview of the session. So we're going to be covering all this. Uh, so first, what's Terraform? So Terraform is just like a tool. Yeah, it's a tool. To be honest, it's a tool. But I don't like to regard it as a tool. I regard it as a, what do you call it, as a pet or something, like as a wand. Let me put it that way. So you want to just declare what you want. You kind of declare what you want and then you get it, just like a genie. So that's just how I like to regard Terraform as. So Terraform have all these like lot of things it works with. That's all these bells and whistles attached to it. So which makes it daunting for new engineers to kind of work with. But what Terraform is doing is just what we do actually. But instead of doing it manually, Terraform makes it what do you call it, automated. So like let's say if we want to deploy an application, you have like a React app, now want to deploy it live. So what you usually do, maybe you go to Vercel or Heroku, or let's say Heroku or FlyCity or anywhere. Then you click, right? You click, choose your repo and all that. That's what you do generally. But for with Terraform is just like you write a declarative code, then you tell it what you want, and then you tell it the output you want. You define some variable, and that's just how it works. So that's Terraform for you. Okay, so yeah. So now why Terraform? So Terraform is just is a tool. So Terraform is a tool that actually is, as I said, the declarative plans. So, and also it supports multiple providers, and also supports multiple environments. You can use it to set up multiple environments. So, and one good thing about Terraform is you can also collaborate with your colleagues with that. But we might not be able to cover that, but I'll point you to resources that you can use to do that. So that's Terraform. Yeah, so Terraform in general is just simplified. The workflow is very simple. You write your infrastructure code, plan and apply, and then all these ones shown here are just providers that you can tap into. So you have like thousands of providers supported by Terraform. So that's Terraform for you in general. So but there are some things you need to there are some technical terms you need to understand with Terraform. So we have providers, we have modules. So providers are basically cloud providers or existing providers. Let me just put it this way. Providers are services that you use after writing your code. Let me just put it that way. That's simple term for providers. And modules are basically, when you declare your own, what do you call it, infrastructure, right? Another person might want to be declaring the same infrastructure on that same provider too. So, that's just like repetitive work, right? So to prevent that, that's why we have modules. Modules is just like if someone actually have set up that infrastructure before, so you don't want other people to kind of set it up again. So you create a module, and then that module you can just you are not copying the full module. You just kind of call the module interface, and then you use it in your own IAC code. So that's just about module. So command are basically plan, apply, and some other ones that we're going to get into later. So we have CLI. These are some of the jargons for new CLI, CDK. CDK is just like SDK, but here we're talking about Terraform. So Terraform, you can write Terraform in two ways, either using CDK or HCL. So CDK is just like you are writing your normal TypeScript, your normal Python, your normal JavaScript code to work with Terraform. So, but HCL means you are writing the actual Terraform code, which is HashiCorp configuration language. Yes, that's the full meaning of that. Yeah. So now, without much further ado, we're going to get started with what we want to do. So I'm going to be minimizing this, and then so I've created a simple. Oh yeah, over here. So I created a simple application here. Generally, so it's a simple Vite app. So just start the application and you see how it works. Okay. So after creating this, what I want to do is, okay, I've created my application now. So what do I need to do? I want other people to see. I want to deploy it live for others to see, right? So there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can use AWS Amplify, Vercel, and all. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use AWS Amplify and do it manually. So you see manual work, and then you are going to see automated work. So that way you are going to see the benefits Terraform brings to the table. So this is the first part, as I said. So now let's say I have Vercel here, so I can use Vercel. I can create like this Vercel. I can use Vercel, and I can use other options too, but I prefer to use Vercel. It's very simple for deploying front-end application. So we click on this, then import your Git repository, and then so this is the repo I worked with. This is the repo we're working with. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, over here. So if you want to do that, just import, then give it a name, then choose the framework, and then deploy. So that's just what we want to do. Right? You can see the number of clicks we did here, right? So that's just one one way of working, like of deploying our application. But we don't want to do this. Let's now say we're working in a team. So you are the DevOps engineer there. So sometimes you might not be the one working on the front end or the back end and all. So you just need to kind of provision the infrastructure for the developers, and then launch it, and then they can you just provide the infrastructure for them where they deploy their code to. I mean, where they put their code to. So when they push it, you can set up pipeline too if you want to. But we're not going to get to that today. There are a couple of resources on what do you call it, on Terraform documentation to do that. So now I'm going to do one thing here. So I'm going to set up. Okay, first we need to install Terraform, right? That's the first thing we need to do here. So now Terraform documentation is actually pretty straightforward. So it supports all this operating system. So on my own end, on Mac OS, so I just need to open my terminal, and then sorry. Yeah. So on Mac OS, so just copy this command and then paste it there, and then Terraform will be installed. It's as simple as that. So if you're on Windows, you download the binary, and then if you're on Linux, you copy this code. It depends on what you're working with. Linux, Homebrew, and Amazon. So different Linux distribution, depending on what you're using, basically. So so once you're done installing, generally, so you need to type Terraform to see that is properly installed. So if you don't get this command, it means there's an issue with your installation. So that's just the first thing there. So now we have our project setup, right? I have this application setup running on our local host. So it's just like a simple application, as I said. Okay, let me go back to my terminal, and yeah, Terraform one. So now for deploying this to Vercel using Terraform, so we're going to deploy this application to Vercel using Terraform. So initially I prepared 3 providers that we're going to work with. We're going to work with AWS, Docker, and Vercel. So I arrange it in the order of complexity. Docker is the simplest, right? Vercel, then AWS. So AWS have more setup to be done. So, but I'm not sure we're able to cover that today. But I have some pretty good resources for you to kind of go to. So I've done this before. So prior to the workshop, so we're still going to do it again together. Yeah. So okay. So if you want to work with Terraform, it's pretty straightforward. So I have my app running here. So I intentionally wrote this infra folder, put it there, and then so everything will be in the same folder. I don't need to go back and forth. So I'm going to okay, let me just create another one. Okay, sorry. I'm going to start from so Vercel 2. Yeah, put it this way. So this Vercel 2, we're going to run the same Vercel application there. So we're going to run the same Vercel Terraform code there. So now in Terraform, we have you are going to create some file generally where you are going to write your IAC code. Why? So that's the first thing there. So we have different ways of we have the main file. We're going to have the main file first, main.tf file. So and you'll be seeing some autocomplete on my end because I have Copilot and Terraform extension installed. So you can install all this Terraform extension on your own end too. To make it easier, you are going to get this repo. Repo is public, so on my GitHub you can clone it, and then if you are following along or you are seeing the video later on, you can actually get the repo. Okay, so the repo is over here. Oh, sorry. So the repo is yeah, it's right here. So we're just over here. So if you need to get it later on. Okay, so now the first thing there is that while working with Terraform, you need to declare your providers, right? See, the provider I want to work with here is, so I like so we want to declare a provider first. That's the first step, right? So then we're working sometimes you can work with multiple provider. Terraform is capable of doing that. So you can work, you can host your front end in Vercel, host your backend in DigitalOcean, and then connect them together. So that's, you can do it that way. You can host your, like, you can, a lot of things you can pretty much do. You can host your database somewhere, host your web app in another place, and then connect the two. So then you declare the resources, and then, so that's just, those are the two things you need to do basically. So for this year now, I want to run a application in Vercel. So to do that, we first of all, there are two ways to go about this. So we type required providers. So then we have Vercel. So Vercel has this source. You need to define the source. So the source is so to see this, there's a extensive documentation on Terraform. So where you can work with this. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Terraform documentation, Terraform docs. So for here, yes. So we have provider docs here. So all of it, yeah, we have like tons of providers. You can check their specific documentation. So AWS have its own, all the providers, you can see all of them here. There are lots and lots of them, depending on your use case. So over 4,000. Yeah. So yeah, so that's the first thing there. So here I'm defining my providers, then I'm working on my provider, then provider Vercel. Right? So that's the first thing there. So now, Terraform is actually we are not clicking on Terraform. So we need to get a personal credential to know that you are the one issuing this command. So we need a token from Vercel before we can proceed. So to do that, we go to Vercel. Vercel is over here. Then okay, just go to my account setting. So I need to create a token. So oh no, not domain, token. Yes. So I just need to create a token here. So let me say chalk token. So same thing for other providers too. You just need to get like some credentials. For AWS, you need to get your access key and private key, and also keep it for if you're working with EC2 instances. That's for so for this you just need you give it a token name, select the scope. So you choose. So I have multiple accounts on Vercel, so I'll just choose my so, and then I just want it to be 1 day because it's just for this what do you call it, for this workshop alone. And just click on create. Right, so it's going to give me this and just going to show it for, so I need to copy it now and yeah, go back to my VS Code. So yeah, I have token, right? So see, pasting this here, you notice something like it means if I need token, I need my token in other places too, I need to kind of copying and pasting, right? So to prevent that, so that's why we can parameterize our resources, our providers, and create variables basically to store all these what do you call it, all these um keys and values. So now I need to create a variable.tf where I'm going to store all my variables in this infrastructure. So now, so the first one, for creating a variable, just give it a variable, then we call it access token. Then you can give your variable a description. Oh, sorry, description. So Vercel access token, and then can give it a default value. So you can give it a type too, and then type is a string, and then you can, if it's a sensitive data, if it's a sensitive something like this, it's sensitive, so I'll make it true. So but being sensitive does not mean you can mistakenly push it to production, or you can mistakenly push it to JIT. So so I'll still explain how we can prevent like this is actually open, right? It means everyone have access to my key. So and then it means security of my application is at stake. So so let me put a default value. So we are still going to touch on that soon. Yeah. Okay. So okay, let me just stop this. We don't need this here. Right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this is there now. So I need to close. So now instead of putting this here directly, I just need to access my get my variable, which is access token, if I'm not mistaken. Access token. Yeah, cool. Oh no, token. Oh, API token. Sorry. So Terraform have this helpful, or Terraform plugin give this API token. Not yes. So that's the first thing there. So, but different providers with their peculiarities. Yeah, for Vercel, you create a project, right? That's the first thing. After creating a project, then you deploy that project. So those are two major things in Vercel that you need to do. For AWS, just create the infrastructure, you define the networking and all that. Or actually, Vercel doesn't have like modules like others because it's pretty straightforward. So next thing I want to do is I want to set up a resources. So the resources here is so you can see it's showing me all the resources I can set up. So I can give a deployment, a project, and domain. So all this I can do it on Vercel by clicking to, but I'll just use Terraform to do that for start. So I'll just say Chalk app as the name of the app. So I'll give it a name. So Chalk jokes or Chalk jokes. So to be on the safe side, I would just think I would just I'll create a variable for that too. Variable name, project name, default, joke jokes, and then description name of the project basically. So that's that. Then we have so yeah, for Vercel projects, you notice when we wanted to create the application on Vercel itself, we're using how to create a project, choose the repo and all. So same thing here. So we just use Git repository. So what Git repository are we working with? So the repo is oh sorry. So the type of repository we're using is GitHub. Yeah, some you can also have it on GitLab or Bitbucket. So the repo is it's on where is it? Sorry. Okay, over here is a public. Yes. So you just copy that and paste here. Yeah, cool. So that's one, right? Overall following. Yeah, I think that's the first thing there. We've created our project. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to create a deployment. We've created the project now, so we need to create a deployment. So so we need to create another resource and then we call it so over here too we can add what do you call it, the domain name. Also, if you have a domain name purchased already that you want to connect your application to, yeah. So a cell deployment, you call it chalk again. So so this we take some values. So the project ID. So the project ID, the most important thing to know. Okay, this is the project's this deployment is connected to. So I just need to kind of reference this project here. So to reference to Vercel project jockapp.id. So that's the first thing there. That's all we need to set up here. So yeah, then targets production. No, I think branch. Yeah. Oh, sorry. All that should be here. Branch main. Yes. Oh no, it's going to not expected to be here. What am I missing? Yeah, okay. So another thing there is that for project, I need to define the framework and all other thing about the project. So I need to define the framework. So the framework this application is running on is Vite, right? That's another thing there. And well, so if you have environment variable, so this is where I put the environment variable. So if I have environment, sometime in Vercel you have your environment variable, so you attach it here. You just create it a key value pair. So that's that. But for this, I don't have any environment variable. Just a simple application. So then a build command. So if I want to change the build command compared to the one that was set by Vite, so Vercel have some what do you call it? Some build command, build settings for various app already. So if I need to kind of create a custom one, that's when I need to include the build command. So that's the first thing there. Yeah, cool. Okay, so now I think we're good to go. So we declare the variable and then we declare the resources. So fire. So I mean I said variables, providers, resources. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All done. So now so so currently I'm in the home folder of that joke in the home folder. So I need to cd into the actual so Vercel 2. Yeah. So I check although I just have that too. Oh, variable mistake. Oh no. It should still work, but yeah. So now the first thing I need to do is I need to initialize the Terraform in that particular folder. So Terraform, to initialize Terraform, just Terraform init. Right. So it takes some time to initialize it and then download all the requirements. So just like similar to when you write npm install, yarn install, or I mean yarn add and all that. So it will install all the requirements to work with that provider. So it takes some time. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Terraform minutes. So when there's any error. So but before I proceed, let me just validate if all what I have there is yeah, it's correct. So Terraform validate. Yeah, cool. So yeah, saying that oh no. Okay, yeah. So Terraform validates. Okay, I've not installed okay Terraform init. Cool. Take some time to install depending on your internet speed. So and one important thing about that is Terraform actually have you can use test driven development for Terraform too. So where you write okay, this is what you need to achieve. I don't know if you are familiar with test driven development. It's just like an approach. Oh, what's going on? Okay, authentication. I think is dealing with the I think it's authentication issue from here. Yeah, saved. Okay, so that's the first thing there. Boom. Yep, the issue. Vercel. These are some of the issue I might run into. Mm, 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 mm. It says coming from Okay, boom, boom. Yeah, everything seems fine. And the token, okay, let me check. Oh, is it from here? Okay, let me rename this first. But that shouldn't affect. So the form, but okay, you need one more time. Okay, so you good? Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so okay, this. Oh, why that? 2 attempts. What's going on? That is all I need there. Okay. Oops. So 5. What's the issue? Okay. Probably I'll use the previous one I've set up already. So let me use the previous one I've set up already. So it's still the same variable main.tf. So let me just delete all these. Oh, no. So it's the same basically. So I just got the app name and then the token, and then that's just what I did there, and then sell token, invite, declare the, and then that's just all what you need to do. It's not as difficult as okay. So yeah, I didn't reference the the branch I'm working with. So but that's not a big deal. You should choose the default branch. But why is this not working? Might be the issue. So let me clear. And this is pointing to the token I just created. So let me. Oh, sorry. They have some messages. Oh, okay. Thought these messages were for me. Yeah. So CD sell to. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. So now Terraform init again. So that's one way to there's one way to find out here. This okay. This works. That should also work automatically. Yeah. Seems internet. Oh, internet works fine. Oh, okay. This okay. Okay. That's authentication. Oh, okay. I think this. Okay. I think yeah. Let me try one more time. So there are 4 minutes. Oh yeah, this works fine now. So this was not even getting the. Oh yeah. So this is just what's meant to happen. Yeah. Just install the providers I'm using. So if I'm using multiple providers, I will list all of them here. Basically, if I'm using AWS, GCP, or Azure, Microsoft Azure. I will include all that in the provider, and I will access them right here. So Terraform is pretty straightforward. Yeah. So, but you notice after creating this after initializing Terraform in this, so you initially this was not there, just this two file, but Terraform generated this log file, right? So this log file is just what your Terraform used to kind of track your changes. So that's one thing. And then here we have the providers, list of providers. If I have multiple providers, it's going to be inside this provider tab here and provider folder here. Sorry. So that's it. So this log file is what Terraform, as I said, is what Terraform used to track your changes. Yeah. So I've initialized Terraform in this particular repository. So the next thing I need to do is I just need so I need to let Terraform show me what it wants to do. So that command is just like, so Terraform, show me the plan you have for this code I wrote, this infrastructure I'm setting up. So just show me the plan. So Terraform plan, that's what that does. So that's, sorry. So that is going to create like, okay. So that is going to show some output here. So it's going to create a deployment, right? So it's going to generate all this plus sign. I mean, it's going to generate that after I apply this. I apply this infrastructure. That's the first thing there. So it's going to create all this with plus sign, and then it's going to create what do you call it? It's going to use this Git repository, and yeah. So that's just all what it. So it's going to add two things. So our infrastructure is destroying nothing, is not changing anything. So that's what is basically doing here. Yeah, that's one. So another thing is I can do something like, I can save this plan. Let's now say I want to test out something else, and I want to test out another provider. I can Terraform plan, then output it to somewhere like I want to save it to, let's say, Vassal, the plan. What? So it's going to create a Vassal the plan for me right here. So this plan, so that's just what it's going to do. So if I now need to change anything in the code, so I have somewhere, I have this particular this infrastructure saved, the plan saved somewhere. So I can now switch and then change anything I want to change here, because I have a plan saved already. So that's just one way of working with it. So now I need to apply my changes, apply what I've done so far. So applying is just like, so Terraform, you apply all these changes I shown in the plan. So just type Terraform apply. It's actually more like you're having like a conversation with your infrastructure. You do this, do that, do this, and then it's going to kind of doing the heavy lifting for you. So you don't need to bother yourself with manual clicking. So that's so Terraform apply. So it's going to request for my authorization. So yeah. So there's a better way of going about this. So approving this change automatically. So yeah. So it takes some time to create. So yeah, it's going to create a web app on my Vassal. This application is going to be deployed live. That's what it's going to do for me. So this is just simple application of Terraform. So the initial plan was to work on Vassal, Docker, and AWS. So in order of their complexity, so Docker is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to cover it too, and then Olayinka, sorry, are you still with me, please? Okay, so this is sorted already. So the changes have been what do you call it? Have been applied. So the application have been created on Vassal. So I just need to go to Vassal over here. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. So okay, so now this was created 55 seconds ago. So based on you can see I deployed this application with what do you call it, with Terraform without coming to Vercel itself. All I need from Vercel was just the token. So and every other thing was done for me. So that's just first step. So let's check our deployment if it works fine. Okay. Oh no. So it's over here. Okay, yeah, this is it. So I can click on this directly and it takes me to the deployed link. So that's one. So but I will still show you one more thing. So sometimes like all this code we are writing, so might be very hard for you to kind of troubleshoot at some point. So so there's a way you can output what do you call it, your infrastructure, so you visualize it graphically. Okay, this is still loading. This is still loading. Let me quickly do that. Oh, it's loading. What's going on? So this is live. So let me show you how to kind of get a graphical output. So you can see here we are just having what do you call it? Test. There's nothing like something visually appearing that you can see to show that okay, this is what my infrastructure actually contain. Yeah, so to do that is pretty simple. So what I want from Terraform is actually graph my infrastructure for me, and then it should, so Terraform graph, right? So initially it's going to show me, okay, this is what I have: Vercel deployment, I have web app projects, I have a web app deployment. So I have all that there. So but this is still not visually appealing, so I need to kind of visualize it using another tool called Graphviz. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Graphviz if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I think this up. Yeah. So application is up now. It's running live. So now let me just show you Graphviz. What you use to kind of check if your application to kind of visualize your infrastructure. So you'll be able to kind of have a visual presentation and know where, if you're having any issue later on, you know where the issue is coming from. Because sometimes while doing system design generally, so you outline, okay, this is the number of instances I need, but some issue occurred due to networking, because that's kind of creepy aspect of DevOps. Yeah. So now this is the tool you use to kind of visualize your infrastructure. So we'll do that for this. So you can have complex. Okay, so now let me run this Terraform graph and store this output in a particular file. So Terraform graph. So this output here, I want to store it in a dot format. So dot format is what makes it easier for you to kind of visualize. That's dot format. So we have Terraform. I want to store it in Vercel.dot. Right? So this will create a Vercel.dot file here. Right. So now the next thing is I want to visualize this in PNG. I want to get this in PNG format to see what I'm working with. So to do that is pretty straightforward too. So I just need to do dot. So before you can have access to this command, you need to install Graphviz first too. If you're on Mac, the Graphviz documentation is also pretty straightforward. So but if you're on Mac, so just to do. But for Windows, you download, and for Mac it's just build install Graphviz, and then you're good to go. So build install Graphviz and you're good to go for this. Okay, so now to use this, so I want to visualize a file. So in PNG, so what file am I visualizing? So it's Vercel.dot. So I want to visualize it in a PNG format, and I want this saved in an output. So in an output file called versave.png. Oh, okay. My screen is frozen. So sorry for that. Okay, I think I'll just share a tab now to make it easier. Share a tab or window, basically. Not both tab. Okay. Yes, this. Okay, so so sorry for that. And I didn't know I was my screen was frozen. Clear. Okay, let me just clear this. How about now, please? Let me check. Oh, how about now, please? Lainka, can you see my screen? I'm on VS Code. Hello. Okay, so I don't know. I can't hear. What is it? Don't know why I can't hear. Okay, so oh, sorry. I think I have to go back a bit. Well, okay. Just delete all this. Okay, so sorry. Okay. Let me just start this again. Yeah. So this is just like a graphical visualization, but I'm going to do it one more time at as my screen was frozen. So yeah. Okay. Now, sorry, Alanika. Did you was when my screen was frozen? At what point was it frozen? Was it when I was initializing Terraform or installation, or what part, please?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, all right. I said when you were initializing Terraform for the virtual application, that was
Okay.
when the feed cut.
Okay. Then. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So I will take it up from there. So the code is here basically. So yeah. So I think yeah, so I'll just start again from here. So I need to so for Terraform, you declare a provider and you declare the resources you want. So if you are using modules of that particular provider, you can declare that as resources also. So that's just it for Terraform. So provider and resources, those are the two main things you are going to be working with in general. So what I did here was just list the providers I'm going to be using, and then I provided the API, the token I'm using to access Vercel, and then I declared the first resources, which is the Vercel project first. So you give it a name, you give it a name here, and then you give it a name again inside this place. So the reason for that too is just to kind of, you can't just leave it blank, right? So because Vercel projects can have a multiple values, and you need it while Terraform is actually building up the whole infrastructure for you. So this you just need to provide the repository where your application is running or is stored. So you can have it in GitLab or Bitbucket, but for me it's on GitHub. So, and then you choose the framework, because here I'm working with front end. So if it's other providers I'm using like AWS, Amplify, or some other thing, some of them support this framework, or some actually you are going to write the build command yourself. So Vercel simplify everything for us. Just by choosing the framework, it does all the heavy lifting. So, and then the next thing is after creating a project is just that you are creating a project, there's nothing in the project. So you now need to deploy that project. Right? So now that's where Vercel deployment comes in. So you give it a project ID. So the project ID will be referencing this. So you can see the reason why we need a name for it for this place. So you'll be able to reference this particular resource. So that's why every resource needs to have a name. As after declaring the resource type, then it must have a name. So you'll be able to reference it in other parts of your code. So that's just the first thing there now. So the Vercel deployment needs to be tied to a project ID. So that's just what I did here. And then I need to reference the branch I'm working with. So I'm working with branch main. This is optional actually. This is optional. So I might not put it there, but it's better to put it for being explicit. So that's the first thing there. So this is all what you need for to deploy your application to Vercel. So if you have domain name, so you just create another resource, then Vercel project domain, you put all the required thing inside that. So that's just what you need to do. So we've written our infrastructure code now. So now the next thing is to validate if it's correct. So Terraform validate. So I'm expecting an error because everything is valid. Cool. Now the next thing I'm going to do is now I need to initialize. So I'm in Vercel 2. Sorry. So I need to go back first. So cd Vercel 2. Yeah. Okay, so Terraform validates. Yeah, cool. So it's saying I need to initialize before I validate. So that's the first thing I need to do here. So to do that is pretty straightforward. Just Terraform initialize init. Then it will download the provider as stated here. If I have multiple providers, it's going to download it there. So you notice something here. You just have 2 files, but when this initialization is completed, we are going to have more files here, and I will explain what each file does. So this Terraform file is going, as you can see, it has the providers, and it's just referring to the providers we are using in our application. So that's the first thing there. Yeah, and then we have this log file. This log file is to kind of track our changes. Actually, it's not the one tracking the changes, but we have what we call state file and backup file. These are the ones that track the changes, but these are just hashes for each change you kind of make in your what do you call it? in your infrastructure code. So that's the first thing there. So it's successfully initialized. So the next thing I need to do is I need to run Terraform plan. For each, I want Terraform to show me what it wants to create. Right? I want it to show me before I'm declaring what I want. So I need it to show me, okay, this is what you want, right? Just to kind of check. So I just need to run Terraform plan, just like show me the plan, and then take some time too, and then to generate some more files, right? So it's saying it's going to create over here, states that it's going to create a Vercel project called Chalk app, and then it's going to create a deployment called Chalk, right? So it's going to, all this is going to be known after apply. So it's referencing the branch main, as I stated here. So, and one more thing. Okay, so I didn't add anything ID, those are optionals. Yeah, framework and all. So that's one. So but one more thing there. So I've created a plan, right? So let's now say I now want to change something and come back to this plan. Does that mean I need to change everything here and go, and if that does not work out, I'll now Ctrl Z, infinite Ctrl Z to kind of undo all my changes and go back to this one? No, I don't need to do that. So Terraform makes it easier. So I need to save this plan in a file here, and then I can make my changes. If that change does not work, I will go back to that plan. So that's just what I want to do. Sometimes I want to do that, sometimes I might not want to do that, but I will give it a shot here. So to do that, just Terraform plan, right? Show me the plan, but save the plan somewhere. So I want to save it in a Vercel dot, sorry, Vercel dot plan, right? You should save that there. So to create, okay, still, boom, when it's done, it's going to create that here for me. Still running. Okay, boom. Yeah, so the Vercel dot plan is kind of here already. So what next is, okay, now I can now proceed to make all my changes here. If I don't want to use Vercel, I want to use some other provider, let's say AWS or some GCP or Azure, or let's say Heroku. I can do all that here. And if that does not work well, I'll just revert back to my Vercel plan, the Vercel provider. So that's one way to go about to kind of store your plan, to store your progress. And yeah, so now the next thing I want to do is, okay, this has been done. So I need to kind of, what do you call it? I need to apply all these changes. I want it to execute all this plan for me. So to do that, it's just Terraform plan, Terraform apply. But why my screen was off, so I already deployed that same application. So I just have to undo. So let me go back and delete it. I can delete it from Terraform, but I want to delete it manually. So you see, that, so this is it. This was kind of it's there already. Okay, boom, boom, just few seconds. Okay, boom. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Production 19 minutes ago. Yeah, still loading. So okay, where is this? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me just apply this. But it's going to create duplicates project. But I might have some unexpected error. But let me apply this, and then let me just delete it from Terraform. Yeah, that one works too. Okay, I have this. Okay. Boom, boom. So Terraform. No, why this is taking forever to go back. Yeah. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Still loading. Don't know. Okay. Internet here is messing up. Oh, finally. Okay, so let me delete this here. So delete. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So Terraform apply. Let me apply this. See what happens. But I'm expecting some error. Let me just apply it. See what happens. Terraform apply. Yeah. So yes. Yeah, creating the chalk app. So I said I was expecting an error because I have it already. So I've linked that same repo initially. So I need to delete this. I need to delete it. So to do that, straightforward. Boom. I need to delete the existing one. So okay, so deleted now. So if I Terraform apply, yes. Okay, it's creating now. Oh, chalk up. Okay. This okay. Terraform validates. Okay. Boom. Well, purple is not private. Yeah. Terraform format. Yeah, formatted. So where's the error coming from? So Terraform apply. Okay. Okay, this should work fine now. Oh, yeah. Think password 2. Okay, yes. Yeah, But also sometimes you might be working with some providers, so they have like extensive documentation, and Terraform have extensive documentation for each of the provider, like a specific documentation for each of them. Yeah, so it's creating already. So if okay, it's still creating. So if I switch so yeah, okay, so completed. So all this the application have been hosted on Vercel for me this way, so I don't need to do any other thing again. Clear. So then I need to Terraform states lists. I need to know what's going on. So it has created a Vercel deployment called Chalk, and then the Vercel project Chalk app. So that's just the first thing there. Well, we are not done, so we can actually access the deployed link. You go to Vercel and do that, because the Vercel does not support outputting the deployed URL. So, but now what we want to do next is actually seeing our infrastructure, visualizing it. Why? So we've written some code, so we've seen that it's been deployed successfully. But how do we know? How do we kind of share this how the whole infrastructure is connected together? We want to share it with maybe the project manager or something. So we have Terraform graph. So this actually generates a connected graph. So in that graph, the nodes are the resources, while the vertices are the connection there are the while the vertices are the connection from one node after the other. So that's just Terraform graph. So Terraform graph is going to output everything for me. So this is what we have here. So we have all this. This still like somehow gibberish, so it's not properly formatted. So I can change the formatting by using JSON. Oh no, JSON. I think I'm missing something. Okay, but the actual goal is to actually present it in a visually appealing way. So to do that, I have I want to store that graph, Terraform graph. I want to store it in a file called let's say Vercel.plan Vercel.dot. Right? So if I do this, no, what's going on? Yeah, Terraform graph Vercel.dot. Am I missing? Yeah, Terraform graph. Yeah. Oh, holy moly, what's going on? Yeah. Okay, so Terraform graph Vercel dot. What's going on? Let me check. Okay, everything is there. Terraform the plan. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to visualize this with okay, I have it here. I don't know why it's not showing, but it's Terraform dot. Okay, Terraform graph. Oh yeah, I want to store it in a Vercel dot file. So I wanted to write all this graph in the Vercel dot file. Yeah. So it's going to create a Vercel dot file for me. Dot file is just like a text file that can be converted to PNG, SVG, and other formats. So that's what a dot file is. Yeah, that's the first thing there. So now I now want to visualize what we have here. So if you have, sometimes you can have like a lot of things, components in infrastructure that you need to kind of visualize. So yeah, To do that, to visualize this, I need another tool called GraphVis. So GraphVis, basically, where is it? Let me just type it somewhere. So GraphVis, basically, Vis, yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. Installation is pretty straightforward on their. Just type graphics installation or graphics docs. You are going to see everything about it there. So now once I have graphics installed already, so what I need to do is just I need to show what, like, visualize my what do you call it, my infrastructure. So to do that, I need to write a simple another command. So this one is not Terraform code, it's just like a graphics code using a dot file. So I want to visualize what dot file. So it's Vercel dot. Why? That's the first thing. And the next thing is I want it in PNG format. So, but I want to save it in a Vercel.png file. Why? So that's creates a Vercel.png file for me here. So this is just this visualize okay, our application is actually connected to each other. So that's just the first thing. So sometimes you can have like multiple components you have infrastructure, so it is going to kind of visualize it for you this way. So you know if there's any issue somewhere, you can go to this file and check, okay, where is it, which component is kind of faulty. So but that's one way of troubleshooting, but the best way of troubleshooting is writing tests. So Terraform supports tests, so you can write Terraform test. Yeah, so I didn't write any test, but you understand what I mean. So you write we have some testing framework for Terraform too. I think one of it is kitchen spec. We have multiple ones like server spec, kitchen spec, and some other ones too. Yeah, cool. So that's just the first thing here about Terraform, deploying our application on Vercel. So I don't know how many time I have left. So I don't know if I should go into the next part, which is Docker, which is straightforward, but I need to get updates. So Alainka, do you how many minutes do I have left? So probably I should run through the Docker, but I won't be able to go to the AWS.
All right, that's fine. I think you can go through the Docker implementation.
Oh, okay, cool, no problem. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah. So for the Docker is pretty straightforward, very straightforward, more than the Vercel. So it just lists all the required providers. So here we have Docker, and then I create a Docker image. So image and container, there are two. Image is just like a blueprint, right? You create a blueprint, so you now want the blueprint to run in an environment. So blueprints and environment. So that's just Docker image and Docker container. So we have that two things. Sometimes can get a little bit confusing at some point. So yeah, this one here, just I'm creating like a simple image. So I'm meant to start with this, but don't know, spirit lead me to work in the other way. So this is the simplest out of it. So Nginx is just like a load balancer. Assuming we are able to kind of cover the AWS, we deploy an Nginx server too. So that's so this one here, you just declare providers here. So Docker does not need any API token or anything that you need for this. It doesn't really need it because I'm working with it locally. So for this to work, you need to have Docker running. So to check if Docker is running, just Docker PS. So I said Docker PS. So it's just okay. So Docker. So Docker. Let me see the running image. So yeah, I have a couple of images running. So let me clear it. Okay. So yeah. One thing here is that it's just like we have all these the same way we have it in Vercel, same way here. So we can work with a couple of providers. As I said, Docker is one of them, Vercel, AWS, Azure, and all. So, but yeah, the Docker container here is just like I'm referencing the image that will be running inside this environment. So I'm referencing the Nginx image to run there. So I'll give it a name, an actual name, and I want it to run on a particular port. So Docker have this concept of internal and external. So environment set another environment. So we have like encapsulation there. External is the one available to outsider. Internal is the one inside that particular environment. It's as simple as that. So now I need to change directly to that folder. So cd docker. Yeah. So I have this. I've run some command there before. Yeah. So just Terraform init and Terraform. Yeah. Just what you need to run here. Just Terraform init and Terraform apply. Plan and apply basically. So Terraform init. So yeah, it will install Docker provider in this oh sorry, yeah, over here. So it install all that here, and then Terraform. I can write plan, right? It will show me all what you need to do, and then so it creates Docker image and Docker container, right? So you can do some networking with Docker too. Can do, yeah, that's one, and then let me just apply. So Terraform apply. But before I apply, I want to show you something. So let me check my running image first. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. So all these have been running for quite some time. Not none. Oh, okay. Already 7 minutes ago. So yeah, clear. Now let me just apply now. So you see it will be created in. I said Docker. So it's Terraform. Apply. Yes. Okay. Oh, and one more thing. Why this is creating? Okay, this is done. Yeah, cool. So I can do like you. I created. I said Docker. Terraform have this feature of creating resources and also destroying the resources, right? So, but what we have been doing so far is just creating. We have not destroyed any resources. So now, let me go back to my Vercel. So cd infra, yeah, and Vercel. Okay, cd Vercel. So don't forget, I have my what do you call it? Let me just check the state first. Terraform states. Oh, state list. Oh, let me just state show. Let me show the resources that we have here. Oh, yeah, state list first. Right list. Okay, so I have my web app deployment and all. So now let's now say, okay, I don't want that application on Vercel anymore. I want to delete it. So what do I do? It's pretty straightforward. So just Terraform destroy, easy, and then to retract all what you've done before. Oh no. Oh, okay. Zero destroy. It's meant to be two destroyed because we have two components. Oh no, not this. Is in Vercel 2. Sorry. So cd Vercel 2. Yeah. ls. So Terraform state list. Okay. So then Terraform apply. Let me apply again and see if there is any change. I'm going to state if there's any change. So nothing is changed. So my infrastructure is running fine. So what I need to do now is I want to kind of delete everything from Vercel. So then Terraform destroy. He's going to destroy the project and the deployment. So yes. Okay, so cool. So now if I type Terraform states list again, it's going to be blank. Yeah, cool. So the infrastructure will be what? Destroyed. So this is actually very important when you are working with, let's say, AWS or all those GCP, where you are paying for the actual service. So while you are testing, you need to be able to delete it. So you don't accrue any additional cost. So that's just everything about Terraform for Basel. But on my hand, I will try as much as possible to drop an article next week for the AWS version. And yeah, that's just everything on my end. So Lanka,
All right, thank you very much.
okay.
This one. I think the session has been quite insightful, right? You took us through, setting up Terraform to running a very a very simple project as well, right? Because of our time, right, we'll not be able to take many questions, right? But just as a brief overview, can you help us walk through the AWS implementation as well? You don't necessarily have to share your screen. You can just give us something to work on verbally. Like what steps would we take, to implementing our infrastructure in Terraform as well?
Okay, so for AWS is similar to other providers too, but it has some what do you call it? Some credential you need to generate. The first thing is AWS is um, a very popular provider, so they have a lot of modules that will make a lot of things easier for you while working with it. Why? Modules is just like your usable infrastructure, as I said earlier. So, but what you need to set up AWS, first you need a key pair, and then you need to set up, you need to create a credential called access key and private key. So those are two important things that you need to kind of have in your AWS for your AWS setup. So those are the two things we just need. Then the rest is good. We are going to be just tapping into modules, existing modules. So that's just what you need. So, but what you want to set up is actually you have like a web application, a Node.js application, right? So we want to set up two EC2 instances, because, and then you have a load balancer, and then a load balancer connected to two EC2 instances, and then so the load balancer received the request, and then it's kind of send it to available any of the available instance. So that's just what we are going to like what you plan to do. And then all these infrastructure, all these load balancer, EC2 instances, and database we are going to set up is running inside a VPC, which is a virtual private cloud. So that cloud you are going to set up the networking, like we are going to be exposing some ports basically, and set up like a firewall. So, but firewall in AWS not called firewall, it's called security group. So that's just the summary of what you going to need for the AWS. So you need some credential, which is the key pair and the keys. Key pair is different from the keys. So key pair is just like the access key and the secret key. That's one, and then a key pair. So that one are going to save it on your laptop generally. So then you'll be able to use it to access any compute resources you have on AWS. So, but and I think that's just it. And I think one more thing. So when you have an AWS account, you don't necessarily need to use your own actual account. You can create a user, so then you'll be using that user to kind of set up all your infrastructure. So that's just for the AWS.
All right. Thank you very much, Lukman. Sounds like a very interesting project, right? I look forward to the article that you will release in the future,
Okay.
right? Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much for being an amazing host, even when we had to go back, for like a couple of minutes. I'm grateful that we're able to come to the end of the session, at least for the most part. Right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for everybody that joined as well. Um, bye bye. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.